Welcome everyone to the Group Frequency Calibration for Who Are You Looking For? The Consequences of a Fuzzy Sense of Self. So part of what happens when people are empathic or don't have a strong sense of self, as discussed in an interview, is because they don't have this, they are not really centered in the center of the rendering in space and time. And so as a result, they also tend to externally define. So the intention for this GFC and the work will be focused on bringing you more into your own center point so you can start to define yourself from a higher order. Okay. And discern the difference between you and other. So becoming aware of your body, please. And as you become aware of your body, becoming aware of the backs of your knees. Noticing their temperature, what they're touching. And now please become aware of your weight as it settles into whatever is supporting you. Noticing the contact points of your body against whatever is supporting you and the weight that those points of contact are bearing. And for those of you with a little bit more experience, noticing more details, such as the stretch of your skin, the spread of flesh and muscle. Noticing if there's any holding in these points of contact. Good. And now, please become aware of your breath. And as you become aware of your breath, just noticing it at first without having to change it. How is your breath in this moment? And then after you have noticed your breath for a couple of breaths, allowing your breath to really deepen, to become much slower. And noticing how expanded it can become within your body. Noticing if your breath can become spherical. So meaning we tend to, when we breathe, if you even notice which direction your breath is expanding or contracting in, it's usually a certain direction, like front or back. Notice if you can be aware of or imagine your breath expanding and contracting in all directions around you. Okay, so from within you. So not just front or back, but above, below, side to side, in addition to front and back. Good. Becoming aware of your surroundings. And as you become aware of your surroundings, noticing the soundscape around you, both on your end and on my end, especially those quieter, repetitive noises that sort of become white noise in your background, becoming aware of those, as well as the more erratic sound. Noticing, if you can, which direction these sounds are coming from. Good. And now please blink your eyes open and become aware of the quality of the light. Keeping your focus soft, just noticing. Yeah. And now please triangulate. So if you are more experienced and you prefer to do this with your eyes closed, go ahead and do that. If, however, you are new, I strongly recommend you keep your eyes open. And triangulating, if you're not sure what that is the following. You're going to become aware of 3 inanimate objects in the space around you. And as you become aware of these 3 inanimate objects, what they are is really not important. Excuse me. You're going to notice the distance between each object and you. So, for example, if you notice that the bed is about 7 feet away from you, you would become aware of that distance, and then you would feel the distance between the bed and you. And you do the same thing for objects B and C. And as you do this, your sense of where you are in space will clarify, come more into focus, and become more present for you. Good. When you've completed triangulating, bringing your attention, please, to the center point of your solar plexus, which is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. Your sternum is that big, thick bone in the center of your chest where your ribs meet in front of your body. So finding that center point, breathing normally for those of you who have already arrived here. Now let's all of us take a nice deep breath, holding your breath for a count of 5. And whenever you're ready and have completed that 5 count, releasing your breath at the speed and intensity you prefer, holding your breath out for a count of 6. And if you haven't already closed your eyes, please go ahead and do so. So what we are doing here is we are completing this one long breath and waiting for the mastermind to coalesce and become coherent. So whilst we wait for that, please know that I am working on you at the group and the subgroup level, and that I often work in silence, especially when I'm working with very high frequencies, because to make physical noise only drops the frequency resonance, which does not serve you. Also, if I say something that really resonates with you, it's likely a distortion pattern that you run or that is running through you. And if I say something that you really resist, it too is likely a distortion pattern that runs through you. So I invite you to remain open and to examine further. Good. So now that the mastermind has coalesced, bringing your attention, please, to the center of your heart space, in the center of your chest, in your nipple line. We're going to now go ahead and ask ourselves the following question. How can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? And as you ask yourself that question, please imagine, sense, feel, or become aware of the very center of your body. And as you become aware of this space, becoming aware of or imagining a brilliance at its very center. And as you fix your attention on this brilliance, it begins to intensify, to brighten. And as it brightens, it very naturally expands outwards in all directions, through your cells, through your organs, your bones, out through your muscles and your flesh, out through the pores of your skin, into the space between your physical body and your spirit body, which is a sphere at arm's length all around you. Becoming very aware of the brilliance within the sphere. Good. And now please become aware of the space all around the sphere. And as you become aware of this infinite space, I am working on you at spirit level to increase your frequency resonance. This is one of the most important things we do together, because how high your frequency resonance is dictates everything from what your reality looks like, how you perceive it, how much momentum you can gain, and how much distortion you can release. Good. Good. Becoming aware of your xiphoid process, which is right at the base of that sternum. So if you trace the length of your sternum all the way to the bottom, where it goes from bone to flesh and is a little bit tender when you press on it. That is your xiphoid process. The first distortion pattern that we are going to release is a tendency to disassociate from the body, okay, depending on what subgroup you're in, or to not know where the boundary of your spirit body is, and allowing other things to come into this space, okay, whether it is another person's stress, emotions, stories, whatever, doesn't really matter, okay? And the third subgroup is you have some awareness of the edge of your space, okay, but you don't hold it, meaning you don't hold your space. You allow, like I said, things to come in. A little bit different from the first group, okay? Good. Bringing your attention, please, to the center point of your solar plexus, okay, which again is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. So a number of you are not comfortable being centered in your body, okay, and so for different reasons. Some of you have fear because it has been traumatic for you to be in the body. Some of you just don't like your physical body. You find it heavy. And you disassociate from it. Other people have things in their bodies, and so that causes discomfort and not wanting to be centered in it. So, irrespective of who you are, helping you to have more ease. Mm-hmm. Good. Yep. Keeping your attention in that center point. I'm going to bring you into the 0 point of space and time, which is the 0 point of space is in the center of your rendering. So if you don't know about that, watch episode 97. This is right in the center of your solar plexus, and the 0 point of time is the present moment in linear time. So I'm going to pull you into this very specific space-time coordinate. to give you more authority over your space and more influence of over how you create your reality. This is what helps you stay more centered, grounded, feel more stable, and less impacted by other people's emotions, stresses, timings. A tool for this, if you want to go deeper on it, is the centering into the 0 point GFC. But for now, pulling you into the 0 point. Good. Bringing your attention to the xiphoid process and about 3 inches or 7 centimeters just beneath it, clearing out your pain body. This only takes a couple of seconds. And we clear this out because your pain body has a memory and it remembers you before the work was done, when the distortion patterns were still there, which makes your integration harder and slower. So just helping you with this. Good. This brings us to the end of this session. I look forward to working with you on the next GFC. It's my sincere hope that you benefit profoundly from this series, which is why I spend so much of my time and personal resources creating these as my gift to the world. If the topic of this GFC resonates with you, it's very likely that more work than can be provided in this one GFC is needed to clear or loosen deeply held distortion patterns in areas that are sticky. Because these patterns are like layers of an onion, usually there are multiple layers to individual topics. Depending on how much of a challenge this topic is for you, it may make sense for you to go deeper than what this one session allows. If you feel this is the case for you, please visit sphericalluminosity.com for more targeted support.